A bit like music on the background. So welcome to my first edition of Talking to My Friends. This is my friend. His name is Biel, if I can recall correctly. And he's living now in Korea, so I wanted to talk to him and ask him about everything because you know, Biel, that I love Korean food.
Mm.
So tell me, how is your life in Korea? And I want to know all your dramas because you're always talking about your crazy lifestyle. And yeah, so
I mean, life in Korea is really amazing, I have to say. It's nothing what you can expect from Europe. I mean, I was in Berlin, I was in Aachen in Spain, and it's something completely different. And first of all, it's like the best thing from Korea is the service. That's what I have to say first, the service. If you want something, you will get it at the moment. Normally, when you go to a restaurant, they will apologize you if they take more than 10 minutes to do the food. And it's like, yeah, in Spain it's like 10 minutes, it's nothing. Like 1 hour is the normal thing to wait. So it's like the service is amazing. You will have, yesterday I ordered something online, today I have it here. It's like always on time, always fast, and it's really amazing. So when I come back, I will not be able to wait for food and for things. And that's going to be bad for me.
you're gonna be like really bitchy, like, where is my food? I want my food right here, right now, people.
Yeah. When I was traveling in India this winter, I was there like, where is my food? Like, why is not here? Why is taking too much? Because I already like, I love like this kind of style, or like everything is open 24 hours. That's also really amazing. I mean, not everything, but you can go at 3 a.m. for a coffee with friends at the morning. So it's like everything is possible if you pay for it.
So I want to talk to you about your crazy trip to India and to all these countries that you visited during winter, because
Yeah.
you told me the last day we talked, that someone stole your credit card and you had to make like your life from that point to the future without no money till you got. So but we'll talk about it later. Now I
Okay.
want
Yeah.
to I want to introduce you to the people that are watching this YouTube video or whatever it is. So you're basically a guy that was born in Catalonia in
Yeah.
97, as I
Yeah.
did, in
97. Yeah.
October, right? Something like
September. September 97.
much the same. And you studied biology in Aachen University, and you were like the head of a research group. I remember that you won one of these crazy awards of biology, and now you decided to go a year. Is it a year or just one semester?
Uh, it's like between a year and a semester. It's 8 months. So
So you decided to go 8 months to Korea, to South Korea. Have you ever like go to the north frontier of
what do you
South,
mean, North Korea or the north of
like
South Korea?
like to the border,
Like that.
just for you to see North Korea?
Yeah, I
Wow,
went there. I went there.
that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. First, the why I decided to go to Korea. If you want to know, I don't know if you're interested.
Yeah,
um,
I wanted to talk. Yeah.
okay. After being 4 years in Germany, because as you remember, I moved to Germany when I was 17 after finishing my high school in Spain. And I moved to Berlin. I was 1 year there, and then I moved to Aachen, and I did 3 years university, so my bachelor. And it was nice. I loved my friends there and everything, but I need to take a break from Germany. And because I know I will go back to Germany to do my masters afterwards, I need like, yeah, a break. So I decided to go somewhere else, and I decided to go to Asia because I think it's really different, and Korea because as a biologist, I think here they work really different as I'm used to in Europe. In Europe, you have a lot of regulations in bioethics that they are not here in Korea, and I wanted to try. I wanted to try what's the difference between working in Korea and working in Europe. So I decided to do a 6 months, no, 7 months internship in a lab in KAIST, where I am now, and I extended to 8 because of the actual situation, the current situation with coronavirus. You can ask me if you want. about
Okay, so
it.
I've got another friend that lives in Korea. Her name is So Young, and she will come to this podcast another day. I'm trying to convince her, but she tells me that she works like really hard because she's also a biologist and she works in a lab. And I asked her, "Are you staying home for coronavirus because you can get sick and all those things?" And she told me, "My, I don't know what she told me, but something like my bacteria are going to die because they need food." And it was like, yeah, it's true. So you keep going to the laboratories during
The
this.
thing is, the approach that Korea took, so the government to handle the situation, is completely different from Europe, Spain, or China itself. So the Korean government did that really well. I mean, it's doing that really well. It's handling really well the situation, and we are not under lockdown. We don't have to stay at home. We don't have any restrictions to go outside. That means that life never stopped for because of Corona. So the thing is, because I'm doing an internship, and from the beginning I knew I didn't want to work a lot. I talked to my professor from the beginning and I told him, yeah, I'm here, but I don't want a project like a full project because I want to travel, I want to do my things. And he agreed with that. So I don't work as much as a Korean, and I'm happy for it.
Okay.
But I do work too. But yeah, I have to go to work. I go every day. I woke up every day and I go with the bus to my lab and everything. So like I told you, nothing changed. I mean, of course something changed, but not the lifestyle. The lifestyle is the same.
And I want to ask you about your friends because you usually you're a person that can integrate into groups of other countries, and I usually see your stories on Instagram, and they are like always really fun. Like yesterday you took a picture of a friend of yours putting makeup on her face or something like that, and it was kind of fun. And
Yeah,
i
we,
want to I want to
yeah,
know, what kind of people do you go with? Like people from Korea, people from India, or other countries? Okay.
um, yeah. The thing is, I'm at KAIST, as I told you. KAIST is one of the high-end universities from Korea, and everybody that studies here, they are really serious about their studies. So they go out and everything, but first is to finish their degrees. It's really difficult to come in. I will tell you a little bit about this university. It's really difficult to come in, and everything is sponsored by the government. It's also when here it takes like all the scientific and technological research for Korea, I can say. And for example, Korean men, they have to do military service. But
Okay.
if you study here, masters with PhD, you don't have to. You can skip it because
So
you're it's like the genius place. So people that are here for full-time students, they work a lot because they want to be like on top, like because they are here. So it's really difficult to hang out like every day with Koreans because they work like the whole night or the whole day. So not really. So because I wanted to have fun, I have a lot of international friends, like international students. I have like some Spanish, but I think we're like 4 people from Spain.
4 people in whole Korea?
No, in whole
Yeah,
university in
I
Korea.
know, kidding.
But I think we're 200 in whole Korea, so it's not that much. And yeah, like from all over the world. I mean, I have some German friends and some Indian friends, like as you told. And yeah, it
So,
depends on the day. I
so
always change.
I want to ask you, would you like to spend your life living in Korea, or would you like to spend it living in Germany? Like, which country? Can you tell me the good side and the bad side of living in each one of these countries?
Oh, you're wanting to spill the tea. uh, I think I would not like to live in Germany. I think
Okay.
it's not for me. I think Korea would be a nice place to live for like some years, but not for my whole life, because the working experience I think it would be really cool, and if I can like stay here with a similar lifestyle that I have now, because I know people that they work here and they have a similar lifestyle that I have. So maybe if I could like keep this lifestyle with a well-paid job, and maybe in Seoul or in Busan, so north of South Korea or the beach of South Korea, I think I would love to come here for some years. I would.
I would like to ask you now about the how expensive is it to live in Korea? Like, is it really
Regard
expensive?
No, I mean, if you are in Seoul, in the main city and in the capital, and you want to live in the city, for example, in Myeongdong, that's one of the center like parts of the city, it's gonna be really expensive because like to find a place. I know people, for example, sorry, that they share a room in Seoul and they pay for the shared room more than 300 euros a month, and
Yeah.
it's one bed and one bed, like single beds. So to find a place to live that is big enough and it's in the big city, it's really really expensive. Groceries, they're like Germany thing. Vegetables are more expensive than in Europe,
Yeah.
far more expensive. But partying, taking a taxi, going out for restaurants, it's cheaper than in Europe. And skincare is cheaper than in Europe.
Okay. And my next question,
Okay.
if you give me 1 second, I have to make a break.
Gordon.
Like, this is what people in America call the life problems, I guess.
Yeah.
So what about the language? Like, and I know that you love languages. You speak English, French, Catalanish. How do you call that? Okay,
Catalan.
Catalan, Spanish, and now you speak also a little bit of Korean. Is it
Um,
difficult?
Before coming, I took like 1 semester course Korean, and it wasn't. It's difficult, but not as difficult as other Asian languages like Chinese or Japanese. First of all, you have like an alphabet, so you can learn it really fast, and the grammatic is not that difficult, but they have a lot of irregularities, like in German. So I did the first course in Aachen because they give it for free, and I learned some basics. And here I learned like more words, more vocabulary, more like sentences that I can say. But I didn't really like took an effort to learn Korean. Like I learned on the street. Like if I'm going to meet someone, maybe I will learn something new, and I learned more things here. And I'm more fluently when I'm reading Korean. But that doesn't mean I speak Korean. I mean, I can say some things. I can go alone, and maybe they will understand me, but not everything.
Like the
Maybe I should like learn like with a grammatic book and everything. But maybe when I come back, I will do it. Now I'm not in the mood.
when you come back to Germany and you're a little bit nostalgic about Korea, and then
Yeah,
you'll be like, I want to learn. The
yeah,
only
yeah.
the only thing that I know how to say is "안녕 하세요," that it's like hello, how are you? And
Yeah.
the fun fact about Germany, it's that you can go to university courses of languages and they are for free. That's something that has stuck into my mind because in Spain you gotta pay like a lot of money to go to one of these courses, and in Germany they give them to you, and that's something
Exactly.
really amazing. Okay, so now that we talked about all the boring stuff, I want you to talk. Yeah, like this was the boring part, and now we get to the cool part.
Okay.
I want you to talk about your vacation in India and Thailand. Did you work Thailand?
Yeah, I
Okay.
did like Southeast Asia. Yeah.
And I want you to talk to me about parties, because every time that I see one of your stories on Instagram, you're with different people in
Yeah.
different places, and it's like, who are you? Who are you, Biel? Who are you?
The thing is, it's a little bit complicated. Story. I was in Korea, as you know. I mean, I'm still there. I was there, and I got like an email from Germany, from a university, from Aachen, and they told me that they wanted to send some students from Aachen to IIT Madras, that's in Chennai, in South India, for a kind of conference and like meetups and collaboration work between universities. And because I was like this chairman of this organization, this research organization, they told me if I could go, because one of the how to say it in English, if you want to go there, you have to be at masters. You cannot be like in bachelor or like after
Okay.
masters. It has to be in masters. So because I was the only one, I mean, we were like 4 or 5 at masters, and the other couldn't go. So I went there with another friend from Germany, and they gave us like some money to pay the trip. And because I wasn't flying from Germany, I was flying from Korea. The flight was quite cheap, like cheaper than, I think my friends from Germany, they paid like 800 euros for the flight, and I paid like 250. So so yeah, my flight was quite cheap. So I was like, okay, I have that money. I'm there. I will use it to travel. Don't post this. uh,
Yeah, like I was going to ask you, do you want this really to be on YouTube or any platform?
I don't care. I don't care. The thing
Okay.
is, I went there to India meeting like people that I could know because they were from Aachen, but I didn't know anybody of them, only with the other biologists. And we had like some meetings with different like research groups, with different institutions. It was really nice. And after that, I started traveling. Yeah, I traveled to Bangkok, and then I stayed in Thailand, like for not that much days. I mean, that wasn't a trip I really wanted to do, but I was like, I'm already there, let's do it. So I flew to Bangkok, and then I met people there. Then I moved to an island, and I knew people there. So I was like traveling different parts of Southeast Asia. Then I took a bus to Cambodia, and I met 2 German girls there. They were from Hamburg, and we went like the next 3 days together. So it was like every day I was meeting new people. Then I met people one day before New Year's Eve, and I spent New Year's Eve with them. So it was all like spontaneous, and it was really, really fun. Yeah.
So how cheap is it to go to one of these countries? I mean, how expensive was to take the bus from Cambodia, you said,
Hmm.
to how expensive?
No, no. I was on an island, so in Koh Chang. Then I took like the bus to the harbor. Then I took a ferry to this like mainland. Then I took a bus to the Cambodian border. It was a really long trip, but it was like 20 euros. But it was a little bit more expensive because I did that through an agency, because it was really difficult to book. And if you do that by yourself, it's gonna be cheaper than 20, I think. And it took like how many hours? 11 hours to do the whole trip.
Did you feel like not safe? Did you
Yeah,
feel like frightened all the time because of
not
being
frightened, but not safe. No.
you were alone in those countries, and you didn't know how to speak any of those languages, so it would be like
Being on the country wasn't the problem. It was more like the moments that I was like crossing borders, because there are a lot of scams there. People that scam you, and they take your passport and then never come back. So I didn't trust anybody. Corona, go. I
whoa,
didn't.
no.
I didn't trust anybody when I was crossing borders.
Now that you're talking about passports, I was listening to a monologue the other day, and it was about a guy from the north of Africa, and he talked about people that go there and take pictures with little children of Africa, and he said, "You are making them illusions of getting a passport. You're bitches. Don't take pictures." Like the word that he said, it's calienta pasaportes. Like it was a
What?
yeah, it was like a fun word that I really like. And yeah, so after spending like 1 or 2
One.
weeks, 1 week,
Where?
how many in those countries, like
No, I
traveling?
was. Yeah, I was 2 weeks in India, 8 days 9 days in Thailand, 1 week in
9.
Cambodia,
Okay.
1 week in Cambodia, and 10 days in Vietnam.
How
And
do
then
you
I.
think?
Sorry.
Which one of these countries do you think that it's going to suffer the most because of coronavirus?
India.
Like I was listening to the radio the other day, and they were talking about India and how they are trying to use trains to move people from one part to the other.
Yeah, I think India, because of the situation in the country already. I mean, it's a really overpopulated country. They are like how many? 1.3 billion, maybe. I don't remember. Yeah,
Yeah,
1.3 billion.
something like that.
Yeah, and cities are really big, dirty, and people are on the streets, and I don't think they will get they eat with their hands too, so I mean, I love eating with my hands. When I was in India, I was enjoying that so much. But if you
Me
have like
too.
a common like food with 5 people and one has corona and you eat with your hands, you're gonna pass it to the other 4 people. So I think it's really easy to pass. There are too many people, and the health system, I think it's a little bit hierarchical. Like the rich people can get like like in the US, like everyone in the world, like rich people can get really well to the healthcare system, but poor people, I don't think they will. And I think a lot of people will die because of this. But now in India, they shut down all the airports and train stations and everything. So let's see what they're gonna do. Yeah.
It's really fun because European countries are usually like hochnäsig. I don't know how to say it in English, but they are like always like looking to the people from
Yeah.
like they were superior. Like I don't know what you call it in English.
Superiority.
Okay, yeah, they feel superior, and we usually talk about China like it's a dictatorship, it's bad, we don't like it, but they were the first ones that tried to control the corona, and now that it has come to
Yeah.
Spain, we're like, why didn't we do anything before? Like, what was coming
The
into our
thing
mind?
is, I don't know. I mean, China is still a dictatorship, and it's still a country that a really bit like gray country. You don't know what's really happening there because of the ban of internet and all what they control is really crazy. So I don't know what to believe, what they did exactly, when it all started, how it all started. So I don't believe all the numbers, but they did it and they are over it. So it worked. Uh, yeah, and Europe, yeah. I mean, before it came everything to Europe, I already was saying, what are you doing? Why aren't you getting ready for it?
One question that I've got to you. So
Yeah.
how is it in Korea? Like, how do they
Okay.
like?
Yeah.
I read some news that they can control people that have coronavirus, so people know that they have it. So can you explain it a
Um,
little bit?
Korea is a really wired country. So everything is, you have Wi-Fi everywhere, you have cameras everywhere, you have, yeah, everything is GPS located. When you buy a SIM card, you need to use your ID number. So the ID number is correlated with your SIM card of your phone. So everything is really connected, which that's not the case in Germany, for example. I mean, they're like more rudimentary, more like paperwork. um, when everything started in Korea, it was like, I mean, I will start explaining from the beginning.
Okay.
We had like 10 cases, like everywhere in the world. So some cases because they traveled and everything. And then there was like the patient 31. It's known as the patient 31. She was a woman that she had coronavirus, but she didn't want to get the test. She was like, no, I'm not getting the test. I'm not getting the test. And she was part of a cult, of a sect,
Yeah. Okay.
the
Okay.
Chongqi sect. I think, I don't know the name exactly. This cult, they are like 200,000 people, and they do like multitudinary mess. Like in one room, there are 1,000 people like there, and if you get like sick, they go together and they pray together. What happened? This woman was sick with corona, and she was having like contact with all the people of the sect. And the worst part is like a secret sect, so nobody knows who is in the sect.
Oh, so like
So
a
that
really crazy cult, like Illuminatis or something like that. Okay.
they say that what they believe is that God will send a pandemic to kill the humanity, and only the people of this cult will be safe.
How many
So
people? How many people of this cult died already?
I don't know the exact number, but when the government knew that this one was like linked to this cult, they started to screen and to look for all the people of the cult. And what happened after all this multitudinary mess and all these meetings of the sect? We had 30 cases, and in one day we had like 1,000 something.
Oh
Why?
damn.
Why? Because she was talking to everybody, she was spreading the virus. But why did we change so fast? Because Korea was ready for it. Korea wasn't expecting an outbreak. when China released the genetic sequence of the virus, South Korea the government started to talk with some biotech companies, and they started producing the kits to detect the virus before getting the virus in Korea. So when the outbreak happened, Korea was already ready with more than 200,000 tests. Like we already knew what was going to happen, so they were like producing the test. The second part is they knew how to do it. They linked 96 hospitals, they linked everything to create like a system to fight coronavirus. When everything started with the outbreak, like with the outbreak with this woman, they started creating apps, one, to control the people with coronavirus. Okay, you had coronavirus, okay, give me your phone number. You give your phone number and they will look where you were. They will look at your credit cards, where did you use your credit card, and they will create a register with your name and where you been. After they did this, they make that public, so everybody could read this. You got like a SMS, and it says the patient number 34. He was a man, 60 years old, from Daegu, and he was yesterday there, and had met these people. So after this, they tested all the people that were there in this time. So if you say this patient was in the supermarket yesterday at 4 p.m. and they look like, okay, these people were also there, they are gonna get tested without getting like any kind of fever, without getting any kind of problems. They will come to you and say, I will test you. Everything for free. If you get the virus, you will get like quarantine, and you will get all the healthcare for free.
One of my questions here is, like, what do you think about this privacy standard? Because they are completely invading your privacy, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like it's good for this situation, but how scary is it that they've got all this information linked to you?
I think is if you don't have anything to hide, where is the problem?
That's a fun fact also, because in South Korea, there's supposed to be no pornography. Like it's not
Exactly.
allowed.
It's not
There's no pornography. So, okay, they are taking away your freedom to do some certain things, and they are getting all the data of the things you do. So how good is it that they've got all your data? I don't feel that.
I think as long as they work with transparency and they say we're going to use the data because of this, I'm okay with it. I mean, I know that here in Korea, every time I walk on the street, I'm gonna be filmed from one camera in each corner. There's like at least one camera, so they are knowing where I'm going, they know where I was. So if I'm planning to do something bad, like steal one bike, they will know it was me, and I think it's okay.
But this is scary. Like I've watched too many TV shows, and they talk about how you can predict the habits of people and how you can change their conduct, like their behaviors. If you know what they're gonna do, you can sell new things to them. For example, if they see you on the street and they are like, oh, he stared at that shop and he saw that there was one pullover that he liked, and then they start spamming you with some publicity of these things. So I don't think that it's safe for our freedom, but yeah, it's good for this situation.
But I don't think that this kind of non-privacy, what you told now, it's the same that we have in Europe. Like now we are talking about, I don't know, something, and Google Play will listen it because he's listening the whole time, and they will also put me the ads in my Instagram, on my Instagram about this. So it's not only like, that's the thing. If you're using my privacy, if you're like invading my privacy for this, I think it's not necessary. I don't like it. But if you're invading my privacy to keep me safe, I think it's okay.
It's really fun because I think that people from the future will look to us like, hey guys, what the hell were you doing with all these privacy terms and conditions? Because we're accepting them all and we're not caring, because we want all the things to be for free. Instagram, Facebook, we want them for free. And we're not paying for anything, but they are getting all of our data to sell things. So, damn.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you're right.
I don't think that Europe is that free. They sell us like idea of freedom, but what they have is an idea of chaos, because you can see that now when everything started to get crazy in Europe, they was saying, yeah, we are losing we cannot track the infections of coronavirus, and that's where everything started. And in Korea, when everything started, like I told you, we had like a big increase of cases. We passed from having nothing to have 5,000, like in 1 week. And then we were like, what the fuck is going to happen? But we never had the idea there's going to be a lockdown. It's going to be like, we'll have to stay at our homes. Never. They said, yeah, traveling is allowed. You can do everything you want. We are only closing like big events and gyms and swimming pools. That's all they close. Then sometimes they said, okay, please don't go to the clubs. Try to stay at home, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Then the thing is, they did that with a cold head. So they didn't put the panic on people. We know what's coming and we know what's happening. So every day I have like an app that's 24/7, that they have like an actualization of the numbers and where everything is happening. Like, as long as I know, Spain only once said the real numbers. Like, okay, that's the numbers with these H's. Only once say
Like,
the whole.
my question is, how is each country taking the numbers in account? For example, if you take all the cases that have been supervised and being tracked, like with these, what do you call them? Like, if they test you and you are positive, you can put those numbers and take them into account. But if you just go to the hospital and say, I feel sick, and they tell you have to stay at home, maybe
no, you have the right to get the test. That's not Spain.
Oh yeah, that's really fun. In Spain, it feels like, in the whole Europe, it feels like we are not as united as we thought we were, because for example, in Spain, its community is taking care of getting the mask, but they are fighting against each other, so it doesn't feel like we're whole country. In Europe,
that's all the same in Spain. So that's the problem from always. The thing is, here, if you want to get the test, you will get it 100%. I have a friend who had the test already 2 times. So, and there are like 3 kinds of tests. You can go to the hospital, then you will go to you have to call a number, and they will say, okay, go to this hospital now. And then you go there, you will get the test, and tomorrow we will have the results. Or at the same day, depends on the lab. The other kind is you go with a car to like a Mac Auto. You open your window, put your head out, and they will do the test there, and you can like drive through. Or there is the third test, that you go to a like telephone booth, like a cabin.
Yep.
You go inside, you call, hey, I want to do the test, and from the other part comes like a doctor, put the hands through like 2 hands, and they do the test, and you can go up. Like, you can get the test so fast, so easily. So
that's so cool.
It's crazy. We here. From the start, they are doing the test to 20,000 people per day. We already screened like 400,000 people. And when I only have to say, when Spain had, I'm talking like 1 week ago, when Spain had 29,000 cases, they screened only 30,000. So if you think the proportion of screened people and positive people is like 100%, here we screened 400,000 people, and we still have 8,000 infected.
Yeah.
So it's like another kind of approach. Like Spain is only, if you are gonna die, they're gonna make the test. But if you're not gonna die, they're not gonna make the test. And that's only is lowering and making the disease worse and worse, and more people are gonna die.
I think that this is a good point. Like, I want to add something else to this conversation, and then it should be a good point to finish this conversation, because the 40 minutes for free of Zoom are going to run out. So
okay.
Have you watched the film Parasites?
Yep, Parasite, yeah.
Parasites, yeah. So basically, Korea was the country that filmed that film, and now we are the ones that are buried in the basement. Like, we are like that guy. Like, yeah, it's crazy, but
don't do spoilers for the people that didn't watch the movie.
But the people that are watching to this to this Skype conversation are really, they really love to watch films, so they know about it. So no
Okay.
worries. So
Okay.
would you like to add something else to the end of this conversation that we had today?
Yeah, I want to add that I think Europe in general is not taking Asia that seriously. Like they think that they are like the Chinese people, that they working and making your clothes, and that's all. Like, and first of all, I think in Europe you need more to like be a cold head, don't fall into phobia and stress and chaos, and start thinking about a society and not like an individual, because we are too we like this kind of individuality and freedom that we have in Europe, but it's kind of sick. And it's gonna now we're watching that it's not paying off, this kind of freedom that we have. And yeah, keeps. I mean, I hope that you stay safe with your family and all your relatives, and hopefully we can meet soon again. Like I don't know when, but I will come back someday.
I will come back. You're like Arnold
I will. I will.
Schwarzenegger. Okay,
Yeah.
so thank you so much for being here today with me and with
Thank
all the
you.
people that are watching this thing. And I will call you another week. So thank you so much for being here today. Goodbye.
Yeah, see ya.
And now music it's gonna play on the background. Okay, so